My dad died when I was a sophomore in high school, and I needed a job to get my mother and I through. And I was 16 years old, and the bank hired me at $1 an hour to put out the mail as a part-time student at Gulfport High School. That was my beginning, and 61 years later, I'm sitting here telling this story. And all of the employees at Hancock Bank at that time were white, except for the janitorial staff. This was in the 1950s. But the bank decided, with about 20% of our population being the African Americans, that we ought to have African Americans in the mainstream of the bank in addition to the janitorial area. And that's how Demas joined the bank.
My mother worked at Hancock Bank for about 40 years, and she was there when I started. I would go down and help her do janitorial work. And at the time, I wasn't interested in going back to college. I had stopped school after a couple of years at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. And I decided to help my mother, and that's when I got associated with Hancock Bank and George Schloegel, Mr. Seal Sr. And when the integration came in, they hired me. I think it was 1964, is that right? I'm
That's
not
about
sure.
Right, 63, like 64.
And wanted me to, start working directly in the bank.
Well, we met when we were at the bank, and I was working at nighttime after school, and Mac was working at nighttime helping his mother when he came home from college. And we began to associate because we both liked music so well. But this was all pre-integration, and we went to 33rd to the ball games, and we went to Gulfport High to the ball games, and my wife Peggy and I would go many times with Mac, and we just were fast friends working in the bank and had a great respect for each other, and we happened to be there at the same time of the evening, so our paths crossed a lot. But the bank also, about that time, decided it was time for us to mainstream African-American citizens in Gulfport into our working staff. And the first person that was hired was Mac, who had come home from college.
When I first started, I think everybody really was excited about it, to have a black person, to be working out front like that, But when I became a teller, I really didn't love it. And I started having, because of him, a fan club. People would stand in my line at the Northeast branch on the Pass Road. And other tellers would say, George, can I help you? He'd say, no, I'm waiting on Mac. And that made me feel good, because I love people. And I guess that's why, as you say, he got me in that, and I became a teller, and I was about the honest mail teller. I think, like in the old days, Mr. Aubrey Patton, people like that would do teller work and stuff, and George Sullivan back in the old days, But at this time, I was the honest mail teller, I think, right, George?
Yeah.
They even tried to get me to become a loan officer and also work up to be vice president. Well, that's not my thing. And I just, the guy that you all did get, to do that, and I got him his job. But I just enjoyed working at the bank, just people like him right here, everybody there. I think just the camaraderie, work with the people that work there, My mother enjoyed working there, She was like over the coffee room, serve coffee, making stuff like that, what I mean? But she enjoyed working there, because of the people that, like Mr. Seals and Mr. Seals Sr., they were just real nice people to work for,
And the associates in the bank are like brothers and sisters. And I think that's why we stayed so long, because we weren't working, we were having fun.
But it's just a good place to work for. Good people there. But just continue to do what I've done over the period of time, And I think you'll be successful, Just kind of be open with people and be honest with people, and I think that'll take you a long ways, And don't go around with a chip on your shoulder, thinking negative all the time, because I never did,
Enjoy what you're doing every day. I think that's the key to success in whatever field a person takes. And if it's possible for you not to be able to separate your job from your love, then life's going to be good. I've had that kind of a career, and the opportunity to work with good friends like Mac Demas personifies that. When you're working with people as good as he is, every day's fun. Even the tough days become the fun days because you know you accomplished something. Mac has been one of the best friends I have ever had in my life, and I've been honored with a lot of friends, but I love him like my own brother. And have you talked to my children and asked them some of their memories of their days as youngsters, I guarantee you they'll tell you about going to the Demas house for Christmas Eve. Having a friend like that is what makes life so good. Well, buddy, we've been a great team.
Oh, I tell you, love you to death, man. Always
you know
have,
what?
always have.
The best is in front of us.
Now that sounds good, yeah.